Gig economy crying for support. It is more than clear to everyone that the India's primary economic needs to create jobs. The election results confirmed as much, and the government has come through with a set of proposal incentives for employers and employees and a apprenticeship program and the like. While these are good initial steps and their effectiveness is yet to be seen, and I'm sure that over the time it will be tuned to start to deliver value. However, there is another huge window which is gapping open and crying out for support. This is the gig economy. Separate studies by the Niti Aayog and the BCG indicate that the medium term potential of the gig work in India is 70 to 90 million jobs. From today's 7-8 million gig workers, importantly, gig workers today are mostly young, which is the specific cohort that the economy needs to reach. This could be a significant force for growth. BCG estimates it could increase growth by 1.25% in the long run, provided gig workers generates reasonable income and importantly social benefits like paid leave, accident and health insurance and pensions. I was chatting with a Uber driver one last week. He told me that he makes after expenses 1000 to 1500 a day. He works 8 to 10 hours a day, which is quite reasonable in Mumbai, and on days when he reaches 2500 rupees, he he quits early. He had been driving Uber for 5 years and seemed quite happy with the job. His earnings, which range between 4 to 5 lakhs a year, compare quite well with the median income in Mumbai, which is around 3.5 lakh per year, as also as in with an estimate of the cost of living for the single person, again about 3.5 lakh a year. He lives with his parents and is seemed quite young and is um, there at least one of the other earning members. They would be relatively speaking a reasonable well off. Indeed, it could very well be him and his cohorts who have begun investing in the equity market. Mutual funds sahi hai. Those systematic investment plans, which is providing wind beneath the wings of Indian equities, more power to him and his breed. Of course, there is no time off, and if is feeling under the weather, he simply has to forgone his earnings. For more serious illness, the government does provide cover, and although it comes with the attainment to difficulties of government services, it could provide some stability to his life and welfare. To make gig workers more sustainable, the government should reframe the rules governing the platform that profit or are looking to profit from the workers so that they are not as exploitative. Already, the European Union has drafted labor rules under which gig workers could be recognized as employees but rights to pension, paid leaves, and workplace accident insurance. Spain is the first EU country that has enshrined these rules in law, with the food delivery companies having to employ their career, couriers as staff after 3 months. British Columbia has become the first province in Canada to provide a minimum wage 20% higher than the regular minimum wage to address the time gaps between gig workers. Significantly, this wage is indexed to inflation. Singapore is unsurprisingly bracing for complex safety net rules The US, of course, remains resistant to reclassification, although some states and the regions have stuck out of their own. On the flip side, some experiments, notably in Seattle, have resulted in a huge increase in the cost of takeout orders, creating cures for customers, restaurants, and the very gig workers the rules were meant to help. Remarkably, there has been an extremely creative initiative by the state government in Rajasthan, which has recently introduced a law designed to provide social security and welfare benefit to gig workers in the state. Or the gig workers and the aggregators need to register under the act, which um, envisages a social security fund created by cess of 1 to 2% of the platform based transactions, which will be used to provide gig workers with benefit including accident and health insurance, maternity benefits, gratuity, pension, etc. The rollout will need to be carefully titrated too. On the one hand, build in benefits like inflation indexing on the other, to make sure it doesn't lead to Seattle like situation of price getting out of hand and demand collapsing. In terms of feasibility, I note that the revenue at Swiggy, which is about um, 300,000 delivery partners, were approaching 10,000 crore rupees last year. 2% of this works out to be over 6,500 per gig worker, which is respectable amount to fund certain benefits. My company pays 2,500 per person for a very good health insurance package. Government investments of a like amount would certainly create a complete and sustainable package. The central government needs to pick up and extend initiatives like which focus on needs of individual workers, the future of India, uh, really, and ensure that the other side of the equation, capital, does its part.